Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hi there. Just before we dive into exploring bliss, joy, I just wanted to say this is like creative visualization. So you may, maybe closing your eyes. It's certainly maybe better to do that so we can really get in touch with some intense feelings of joy and bliss and wonderful personal pride. So to that end, if you're doing things or have things that need your attention, it's probably best to listen to this at another time. Put, say, 20 minutes aside, because that's all it's going to take. So where you can just be comfortable and listen, inside, outside, but nothing that needs your attention, okay? Just want to say that before we start, because I want you to enjoy this experience. So intense. And have a wonderful experience too. Okay? So here we go. So as we move into a new year, and it doesn't really matter whether we're moving into a new year or not, I wanted to explore something first. Because I always think that we're not clever enough to know exactly what we want. You, me, we think we do. We have this idea, this aim of the things we'd like to do, the things that maybe we think will give us the passion or follow our passion, our meaning, our purpose. And we give it a damn good go. But sometimes I think our unconscious mind knows more. And in fact, while we're focusing on where we think we're going, our unconscious mind can use our peripheral vision so much more to see opportunities that we don't see, that will actually give us more meaning in life, more passion. And how do we direct that? Well, I think it's all about feelings. How do we want to feel? Now, as long as this feeling and the behaviours that give us this feeling are good for us, either got to be healthy, got to be safe, good for other people, so we're not doing it, one for us and not for you. It's good for other people too. People around us, people we love, people we don't even know, but it's good for them. And it's good for little old planet Earth. And if we get that right, and that feeling will give us all of that, then I think your unconscious mind will find even more better fits, as it were, more opportunities, things that we weren't aware of. It's like those aha moments, those sudden fits of intuition that you go, oh yeah, oh this makes sense, oh what a coincidence. Serendipity has hit me again. And that's how I think those happen. So before we go on to deeper dives, I thought it'd be nice just to find out what joy is for you, for me. For you, it might be, and I have to say, there's a gap there because it's you. If I say what I think joy is for you, then that would be my joy. I get this wonderful feeling when I get joy that I'm just alive in my body. I feel right, if right's the right term. I just feel good. I feel I'm in the right place. I feel super competent in what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, in the flow, in the moment. So what might it be for you? Because only me and you here. Now, sometimes, and I have to say, there's a gap there because it's you. If I say what I think joy is for you, then that would be my joy. This wonderful, I get this wonderful feeling when I get joy that I'm just alive in my body. I feel right, if right's the right term. I just feel good. I feel I'm in the right place. I feel super competent in what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, in the flow, in the moment. So what might it be for you? Now sometimes, you might not be able to come up with what you think it is. Because when you think about it, joy, and I put joy and bliss together. Joy, bliss. Sometimes we can't admit to the feeling. Because when we admit to what the feeling of joy and bliss is, we have to also admit that we haven't got it. And I think that's okay. Because one thing about it is, it'll always, or can be, just a little bit better. So you can have the most wonderful joy and bliss, knowing that as you live your life in joy and bliss, we can just have it a little bit more intense, make it a little bit more better. So it's okay. And this is something we're just going to do in our mind, I guess. So we can just imagineer it. And when we imagineer things, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we're just thinking, making things up. And sometimes you'll remember times of joy and bliss. And if you do, awesome. And we can take that further. Or we can just imagine it, make it up. And I'm happy with making it up. Because when we make up how joy and bliss feels, it comes from us anyway. So in some ways we are getting through that barrier, that filter, and allowing it to come to our mind just through the power of imagineering. And we can do both at the same time. So we use our remembering skills and then spice it up. Or we can spice up the feeling and suddenly allow a memory that may just go with it too. Either way and every way is okay. So if you're happy to come with me, just to examine, just to explore joy and bliss, and who wouldn't want to do that? Just put some time aside. Because this feeling we're going to explore is like a direct message. Encrypted, no one knows, message to your unconscious mind of this is how I want to feel. And I'm not going to suggest that you close your eyes now. I'm not going to suggest that. But you could. If you want to close your eyes now, that's no problem. But I'm not going to suggest that. I'm not even going to suggest that you simply let them close all by themselves when they're ready to close now. Or you could try to keep them open as long as you can before they close. You choose. It's your choice. But as you sit and listen intensely, with a feeling of maybe just curiosity, what does curious and curiosity feel like? Can you remember a time when you were curious? When you were so interested? And with a sense of curiosity, maybe you could recall a time of the past. A time of the past that, when you think about it now, it filled you with so much personal pride. So much personal pride. You felt the real you. You could do that. recall a time in the past. Or imagine now what that would feel like to feel an immense feeling of personal pride. Because we mentioned two words together, pride and joy. You're my pride and joy. So when we're feeling so much personal pride, maybe that's the time when we feel joy and bliss. So maybe just imagine now what that would feel like. Where would you feel it? Would you feel it all over? Would you maybe just feel it in your heart? Maybe you could feel your heart beating with joy, bliss, pride. So much, so intense. Maybe you can feel a warmth, a temperature. Some people feel it as a colour. Maybe you just feel it so intensely. And as you do feel it, feel that joy, the bliss, so much personal pride flowing through every cell of your body. I wonder what colour it does have. What would you imagine that colour to be when you have so much joy and bliss pumping around you? Your heart literally filled with joy and bliss. Feel it. Feel it now. Now you can feel the temperature with that colour. Your whole body, the whole you, radiating this joy, this bliss. Not just on the inside, you just know secretly you're radiating joy, bliss, intense personal pride. And as you feel all of that, I want you to wonder. You may even say these words with me. I wonder what it would be like if this feeling was doubled. Ooh, yeah. Imagine having this feeling now in everything you do. Would that be good? Hell yes, that would be good, wouldn't it? Imagine having it, this feeling, bliss, joy, intense personal pride in everything you do when you're by yourself, with yourself. With your loved ones, with your friends, your colleagues. Just being filled with this feeling of joy, bliss, intense personal pride. Here's a question for you. Feeling this wonderful feeling that's already doubled, could you stand to double it again now? Double it and double it. And use every part of you to remember this now. Remember it consciously. Remember it unconsciously. I want your unconscious mind to remember this. To know when you feel this feeling, This is pure safety. The feeling of healing. The feeling of living your passion. The feeling of, that's right, the feeling of that. Imagine having this feeling in everything you did and everything that you do. So when you look to the future, how enticing it will be, knowing that you will be bringing to the world this wonderful feeling of joy, bliss, intense personal pride. And when you review, knowing how this joy, bliss, intense personal pride has created the most wonderful parts of the past. So just sit in this joy, bliss, personal pride, intense personal pride, just for a moment longer, so you can really remember this. Now, I don't know if you want to take your little finger and your thumb and just gently squeeze them together to anchor this feeling. Or you could just put a finger on the back of a knuckle, and as you feel this feeling, you can begin to slide it gently up the knuckle towards your wrist. And as you do that, intensify this feeling. And then come back to that knuckle and then slide it up again and make that feeling even more intense. So every time in the future when you press that knuckle and slide your finger towards your wrist, you get this feeling even more intense. So you can use it as your intentional anchor. I don't know. Everything is choice. And what would you do and be able to do, having this feeling and the most wonderful positive intentions to create the real you, the ultimate vision of you, following your purpose with passion, every mission that you take on, filled with joy, bliss, and ultimate, intense personal pride. What would that do? And then I'm not going to suggest you, if you did close your eyes, you can open them now. And maybe if you didn't close them, you can open them even wider. And just think about spelling your surname backwards or your telephone number backwards, or just looking around and smiling at the world, just to get back into our normal state, knowing that you can go and think about this joy, this bliss, this intense personal pride feeling more often. Because the more you think about it, the more you're telling your unconscious mind, this is the way to go, please. This is what I want to feel in all the things that we do. And if you were to think about that in your goals, your aims, your directions in life, for all different areas of your life, all those different contexts, how would your life be when you look back at it and go, yeah. So you can look forward now at the things you're doing today, the things you're doing tomorrow, the things you're doing next week, and imagine as you think about them being successful, you could just squeeze that little finger and thumb together, or just slide from that knuckle and feel that intense feeling of bliss, joy, and notice how that changes your way of looking at the world and your goals, your dreams. And that's where we're going to dive into creating joy in all these things, or finding out if there is anything stopping us feeling this intense personal pride, joy and bliss in everything that we do. Then we'll find a process for it. But I just wanted to dive into this gently and easily, just so we've got a base camp, as it were, of where we're going. And where, if you can feel it now, you've already got it. It's a matter of letting it out into the world, isn't it? Opening the doors, opening something in your heart to allow this to happen. Your choice. Hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you on the next shorter podcast, which are the 5-minute quickies, which are about 10 minutes, sowing the seed for where we're going in the deeper dives, so you can really prepare yourself and look forward to it. Hope you do. If you did enjoy this type of interlude, I'd love you to let me know. Feedback at personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. That's the email address to use. And I'd love to hear what you thought. And if there's anything you think, ways that I can improve this, and I know there's millions of ways, but if there's something that either bugs you or you think, well, if you could really enhance it by doing this, Cluffy, I'd love to hear that too, on that same email address, feedback at personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss these. And if you would share this so other people can start their life, their day, their morning, their hour, their minute, with a feeling of joy, bliss, intense personal pride, that would be awesome. So please share the episode. Till next time, my friend, have more joy, bliss, intense personal pride than you can stand. Enjoy. Bye-bye now.